Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the full bundle reveal of Undercity Exiles, or November Sci-Fi bundle. Yeah, it's been a year, and we have a lot of really cool stuff to show to you guys today. For those who don't know me, I'm Tiago, I'm your community manager. I'm also one of the resident nerds here at Loot. And I have another resident nerd with me today. We have Matthew.
Hi guys, you can call me Matt. I'm a video production supervisor here at Loot, and I'm filling in for Luca because he has college chores to attend to.
Yeah, has some college stuff to attend to. He's actually recording a short film. Let us know. We changed some stuff with our setup. Let us know if it's working, if you like it, and if it's not, we'll try to fix it later. Okay. Okay, so let's start with a couple of announcements. We have some news for you that we're gonna share later today, but I'm gonna let Matt take off for now.
Yeah, well, last time we got together, we were talking about some mysterious project that we were working on, and now you guys know, right? At least now we have already showed to you guys what we are working on, which is Journey to Nidavellir, right? So after Journey to Valhalla last year, now we are bringing to you guys this dwarven Viking fantasy style product that we are very proud to present to you guys. And not only that, but we are also bringing back Loot's Golden Brush, right? So our painting contest is back on track, and we are painting the very mini that is actually appearing in all of our communication, talking about the dwarves, talking about the story, talking about the lore. So it's the same mini that we're gonna be having on the Loot's Golden Rush. So
yes, and if you want to participate, you can check out the rules on our new website. So we're gonna show to you guys how to get there. So it's on our new website. If you go to support, I believe, yes, there we go. If you go to support, get the first article.
Journey to Valhalla.
Journey to Valhalla, and I think there is going to be the first article. The rules and guidelines, everything is there, and you can also on rule 2.1, 2.1.2, I believe, yeah, that one. We have the link to download the model. So if you are a Loot subscriber, or if you're not, this free model, Gaujin the Long-Lived, is available to you right now. It's available for free. All you've got to do is subscribe to the launch week, which is going to be on the second week of December. So you definitely don't want to miss the date. It's a big project. We've been working on this for some time now, and we have quite a few surprises for you guys. So yeah, definitely check out the rules. We have some amazing prizes. First place gets a full-on 3D printer, an Anycubic Mono X2. You also get the full Journey to Nidavellir product, and you get 5 liters of resin
to print
and,
it,
yeah, and 150 pounds from Element Games, 150 pound voucher.
And that's only the first place prize. We have more prizes for second and third places, and not only that, but there will also be a
community vote.
Vote.
There's going to be a community champion. We're gonna have judges for the first, second, and third place, but we also have a community champion. And the community champion actually has one of the more interesting prizes. One of my favorite prizes that we're doing. You get to be our next community hero. So you get to help us design and create race, class, and everything else about our next hero. And it can even have your beautiful face.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I want that for myself so bad.
Yeah, I don't think, would it be unethical for us to compete? I think it would, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of, we're gonna have to be content with, like, maybe in the future, in the far-flung future, getting a mini for faces. I think Marcia already got hers.
Yeah.
She was pretty happy with it. Okay, let's. Do we have?
There's one more thing that I wanted to say, which
Yes.
is on Friday, the official trailer for Journey to Nidavellir is gonna drop on YouTube. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that one. We've been working on it for quite some time now, and it's turning out pretty freaking cool, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than the stuff we've put out in the past.
Yeah.
We kind of upped the production value a bit for this one.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any video announcements? Anything coming soon that is not Journey to Nidavellir? I think we're pretty focused on that.
Yeah, we're
right?
pretty focused on Journey to Nidavellir. So our communication this month is basically Journey to Nidavellir and of course Black Friday, right? Which is just around the corner.
Yes, Black Friday is coming. We don't have for usually for fantasy we do the promotion for one old bundle, but this month we're not doing that because when is from Black Friday to Cyber Monday we're going to have a sale on every single old bundle, on every single old product. So definitely look out for that. Save your money. Don't buy old bundles yet. Save your money to buy them on Black Friday, on the Black Friday weekend.
And save a little bit for Journey to Nidavellir as well.
Yes. Okay. You guys saw when we were demonstrating the new the promotion, the new website. This is Lut's new website. We have discontinued the old one. If you try to log into the old one, or if you try to access the old one, you're gonna get a redirect to the new website. Don't worry, that's normal. Like all of your account is safe. All of your bundles are safe. All you gotta do is follow the instructions on the redirect and log into the new website if you haven't yet. There's a lot of really cool stuff there, and we hope you like it. We have officially launched it, and it's out of beta now. So we are pretty happy with the results so far, but we are gonna keep improving it and keep doing more and more cool stuff. So yeah, is that all for announcements? I think it is. We do have a couple of announcements that we're gonna save to the end of the live stream, which are the name of the next bundle and the concept art for our next Sci-Fi loyalty reward. So definitely stick around to the end of the live stream for that. It's some pretty awesome stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this bundle. Let's talk about Undercity Exiles. So Undercity Exiles is we've been doing cyberpunk stuff a lot, but what we wanted to do with Undercity Exiles is we wanted to bring back that kind of grimy feel to cyberpunk, right? Stuff like RoboCop or even Mad Max is a little bit more diesel punk, but you know it's a little bit more dirty and gritty and
mechanical, right?
Yes, mechanical instead of cybernetic.
Yeah.
The people in this bundle are not necessarily living their best lives. They are kind of getting by with the scraps they can get, and yeah, this is what this bundle is all about. It's about kind of really scrappy people, some really bad people, some kind of evil people. And it reminds me a little bit of the Alita Battle Angel, the story with the just so you guys are aware of the backstory of this bundle. There's a place probably near Neon Street somewhere in the same city. There's the Undercity. That's the place where you send the people that are the dregs of society.
The undesirables.
Yes, absolutely.
The expendables, if you will.
Yeah, it's kind of like this a similar concept to the Arkham City.
Mm-hmm.
It's send a bunch of people there that can't be living in a civilized society, put a bomb on their neck that explodes if they try to leave, and just let them kind of call each other, right? Let the
That-
problem kind of solve itself.
Yeah, yeah.
And those people are very, very low on resources, and they kind of have to get by. So, without further ado, let's check out the first character from this bundle, which is going to be Sarah, the robot hunter. So let's check out the concept art first, which is by Batman Isis. And the concept art, I think there's kind of a clear reference here. She is, a cyborg lady, an android lady, but there's kind of a clear reference there with the robot skull and the cybernetic hand and the name. And we needed a warrior. There's a lot of rogue AI and rogue robots that are just kind of dropped into Undercity, and we kind of needed a hero, a robot hunter, to put those robots down and make sure that people, if they're not living well, they are at least surviving in the Undercity, right? So she's kind of a very popular hero for the Undercity Exiles. Let's check out the sculpt by Diogo Colares. Are we checking out the sculpt? Yes, there we go. Yeah, this one is kind of is a really cool one. I love the big guns. I love the it reminds me a little bit of that I believe the artist's name is Rob Liefeld style, the guy that did Cable and Deadpool in the 90s. Pouches everywhere, but I think Sarah is a little bit more she's a little bit more well balanced, let's say. It's a model with a lot of different textures, and a very interesting base as well.
Yeah, the base is awesome, and I love this robot torso that she's like gripping with her cybernetic arm, right?
Yes.
I think it's it really helps to reinforce the message that she is like a badass huntress, and she's not here to play games.
Yeah, I love as well all of the texture work, all the detail work on her coat, which could have been a very simple thing, but Diogo really went out of his way to make sure all of the little creases on the model and all of the tiny little details that make it look like make her look like she's actually moving.
Flowing capes and coats and etc. is something that I think Luke does pretty well, if I may say so myself.
Yeah. Let's check out a little. I think we can see the details a little bit better on the bust. And those of you who were here for that kind of community event, let's say, that was Gungate, I believe the community was calling it, will notice that she is practicing gun safety, right? Finger off the trigger until you are ready to fire. But yeah, it's some big guns, and I imagine you definitely need like cybernetics and a robot body to be able to even lift most of these weapons and to be effective in the battlefield. Of course, she's carrying like the whole this whole robot torso in one hand, and yeah, this one is absolutely great. Just a lot of like really cool details, a lot of belts, a lot of straps, a lot of buckles, which is always good for a badass feel. And I think it's something that we do mostly with the sci-fi characters. I think we are a little bit freer with the sci-fi characters, but the hair that she's got, it's like it's on point as well. Like we get to do some really cool stuff with hair, especially for Cyberpunk. Some really fun styles. So yeah, and I think this is a great example of it as well.
Yeah, she looks pretty badass. not my favorite from this bundle, but she looks badass.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to pick one favorite from this bundle. There's a lot of cool stuff
I have
in it.
two. I couldn't pick one. I have two. I'll tell you when we get to them.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's move on to our next character, which is going to be Alessa Armstrong. And this one is kind of pun intended. You are seeing the concept art there by Victor Augusto. And yeah, this one again is definitely pun intended. Sometimes we kind of sometimes we spend like a lot of time to come up with a character name, and sometimes it just comes to us. And I think this one we knew Armstrong was gonna be there somewhere from the get go, right? And she's a punk. She does have a little bit of a kind of a musicality to her character. The bass does have like the big amplifier. So she was probably at some point the vocalist of some punk band on the Overcity on Neon Street or something. She was probably
maybe an announcer for a race, right?
Yeah, on Cyberpunk red terms, she would be like a rocker boy, which is a class in that game. So yeah, we are checking out now the sculpt for this mini, which was done by Lailson Camini, which is absolutely amazing. I think the concept art was really great, but the sculpt actually brought to life the some of the details, like the hair and the pose. The pose is a little bit more dynamic in the sculpt. It is something. Sometimes the concept art looks really good, but once the 3D sculpting process starts, we realize we need to change or adjust a couple of things. And this one is one of those models. Those of you who are eagle-eyed will also notice that she's not wearing the goggles that she has on the concept art, and that was another decision that we made. We took out the goggles. She was looking kind of weird with them, and especially on the 32 and the 75 millimeter miniature, it was kind of hard to both to paint and to see some of the details. But yeah, I love how like there's a whole she is a punk, and there's a whole thing with asymmetry in this model. Like the two sides couldn't be more different.
It's true.
And I kind of love it.
And I think that considering the bundle, the thematic vibe of the bundle, and this particular mini, I think that it's a nod to Vi, right, from Arcane, because I think that Undercity Exiles kind of reminds me of Zaun, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a it's a slum city. It's a prison city. It's where you send all of those people that were causing trouble. And Vi is the kind of character that was causing trouble for a lot of people.
I guess so.
And the oversized arm is one of the representations in this bundle of that. And let's check out the bust now to see all of the detail here. And the oversized arm is actually one of those representations. Okay, people here, they're not gonna have the resources to go with the high sci-fi stuff, right? The clean stuff that might as well be another arm that is a straight up improvement. They're gonna have to do really, really mechanical, really jury rigged stuff like this. So yeah,
they have to make do with what they got, right?
Yeah, and they ain't got much. It's mostly like scrapyard stuff. It's the parts that the people on the surface don't need anymore, don't like anymore. But there's still some useful stuff there, and that's what they're making use of.
Fabio Fernandes has a comment here. Did the bundle also have a lot of Mortal Engines vibes?
Who I think Mortal Engines is a little bit more steampunk, but I can definitely see it. It's like
Yeah.
the you know all of the no it's very very boxy stuff, very like oversized mechanics, and yeah, I think we can find a lot of that in this bundle.
And Ross also brought this comment here saying some of the most interesting sci-fi guns you guys have made. Great textures. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, I think I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, like definitely a couple of more like clean sci-fi and clean cyberpunk. It's good looking and all, but when we do gritty stuff like this, we actually get to explore a lot of different textures in the same model, which is something that is fun for painters, right?
Yeah.
And you know, we get to add a lot of different little details on the model, and even a couple of Easter eggs. Okay, let's move on to our next character, which is going to be also be the last bust for this bundle. Let me move some stuff around here. And the next character is going to be Mo, the bunk clubber.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and again, pun intended with this one. The concept art that you guys are seeing is by Tariq Moutran. And yeah, this is a classic bunker. He does have a really really cool cyber arm. It reminds me a little bit of like that cable cyber arm, right? And it's almost like muscle. It was probably some cybernetic muscle. Maybe he had some synthetic skin over it before, but it got ripped away. But yeah, it's basically your classic English punk. And I especially like the fact, and let's move on to the sculpt by Laiuson Kamini. I especially like the fact that he's kind of fugly. Like he's not necessarily a beautiful man, right?
Yeah.
Like he's probably been in a couple of fights, probably more than a couple,
Yeah.
and his face got bashed in several of them. But yeah,
what I think it's the most compelling about this mini is like his facial expression, and not only that, but his body expression, right? He's leaning, kind of like in a come at me bro vibe, you know, and I think his face is just so expressive, and that's what made it shine for me, I think.
Yeah, let's show the sculpt here live, and you know. Again, with the great hair, like you can never go wrong with cyberpunk and a mohawk,
Yeah.
right? But the the baseball bat with like the nails through it, the shin guards actually have like little flames sculpted into them, which I think is great. This is definitely the kind of guy that would do that. He does have a gun, because who doesn't in this particular universe? But he probably prefers to use the baseball bat.
Yeah, I think he's conscious about saving bullets, because when you have that club, you don't need to expend all those bullets anyways.
Yeah. Also, a baseball bat doesn't need reloading, right?
That's true.
Let's check out all of the detail here by Laiuson in the bust version, and I absolutely love it. Like he actually has like kind of a pockmarked and scarred face, which is absolutely great. And there's the bust allows us to do some stuff like. That's a little bit better. Like there's a little bit of texturing on the bald part of the scalp there, like the hair is starting to come in. Yeah, it's just, and you know, it's actually a fairly a fairly simple concept, right? It is just a punk rocker guy with a baseball bat. But the execution, it's just flawless, and I think that's what really makes it stand out.
Well, it's
like
one of my favorites.
look at that profile, man.
Yeah. Well, Fabio Fernandes is actually saying that he looks like Woody Harrelson. A little bit, yeah. I see the resemblance. Yeah.
Yeah, like that profile there is absolutely great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I think the left side maybe his good side, maybe his picture side.
I don't think he has a good side, buddy.
Yeah, like maybe a less bad one.
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely not straight on. Maybe from the back. Yeah, from the back maybe. Okay, so those were the three busts that we have for you today. Hope you like them. Let us know in the comments which ones you like, which ones you don't. But let's move on to our next character. And I'm actually gonna hand off a couple of models here to Matt. Just so we can free some space on my side of the table. And the next character is going to be Buster, the Scrapyard Warrior. And the concept art there was done by Jonathan Anjos. Sorry about that. So by Jonathan Anjos. And yeah, this is a big guy with a big weapon, a big kind of ridiculously oversized sword, and that's where the name comes from.
Looks like a helicopter blade or something.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. It is a helicopter blade.
Okay.
It is a repurposed and helicopter blade
Like one
with
of those
some
sail blades, right?
yeah, with some flamethrower attachments.
Okay.
Actually, let's check out the sculpt by Daniel Sanchez. And the idea here is that there's a weapon I think is in Fallout 4, which is just like a big metal sword with some with a welding torch attached to something, and you light the sword on fire, and it's big and preposterous and ridiculous. And that's the idea with this character. Okay. This character is like the maybe quite literally an engineer on steroids, right? A mechanics guy on steroids. This guy in particular, I think the and I'm not gonna be able to show. It's not gonna do it justice. We're not gonna be able to do the close just enough. But his hair is absolutely great. His facial expression as well. This is one of my favorite ones from this model. He does have like quite a bit of prosthetics going on, quite a bit of cyberware going on here. Oh, and I think we have a better close up there. There we go. He actually has quite a bit of prosthetics going on. Some of these might be older work from before he was exiled, like the arm here. But some of the stuff is definitely new. It's definitely not the top of the line stuff like his leg here. And I love this detail that his prosthetic leg, the knee, has actually like ripped through his pants, through his clothes. I love this little detail. I love his jacket as well, which was probably like, this jacket was probably like very, very trendy at some point, but now it's all ragged. He's been in the Undercity for a while. And yeah, this is the mechanic. This is the guy that you go to fix your vehicles or to even fix your weapons. And he's probably maybe the owner of the scrapyard, or at least the founder of the scrapyard. So yeah, it's a great guy, and I absolutely love his hair. Again, the hair on this one is absolutely glorious.
I really what stand out to me on this mini is the pose. I think it's a very dynamic pose, and yeah, I really liked it. It was a lot of fun photographing it for the spoilers.
Yeah, and it's actually a kind of a really good balance. Sometimes we do, very, very dynamic poses, like a character jumping or something, or sometimes we do more idle poses, a character just kind of being themselves. This is a really, really good balance between those two modes.
I think so too.
Yeah. So yeah, let's move on. This is a great sculpt by Daniel Sanchez. Thank you so much, Danny. Let's move on to our next model, which is actually it's a big one. It's the large one from this bundle. It's the Scrapyard bot, which for a bunch of legal reasons, and I don't want to see any of this in the comments, or because we've seen a lot of it when we released the concept art. It is definitely not an Autobot. It's not a Transformer. It is a Scrapyard bot. And the inspiration for this one was more kind of a scrappy bot from that movie with Hugh Jackman, Real Steel.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a couple of like fighter bots in that movie that are made of just scrap metal, and that was actually the inspiration. It's just kind of like, okay, what could these people in the Undercity do? If they could do a mecha, what would that mecha look like? And the concept art was done by Beth Menezes, and the sculpt, which you guys are gonna see now, was done by Victor Prado.
I really like the front end of the car chest piece thing.
Yeah,
I really love that.
Yeah, and I think that's what people latched onto when they were calling this a transformer or something close to a transformer, to an Autobot.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on in this model. Like he does have two different kinds of feet. So two different
Arms
kinds of
too.
hands, arms.
Yeah.
So he was literally put together from scrap and from like parts of older robots. You can see here, like his right foot is a little bit of a ski foot. It's actually very reminiscent of our 3-month loyalty reward, which is actually behind us here right now. It's not quite the same, but it's the foot is it's very he could ski around in those, but the left foot is a claw, and the left hand is smaller, but it's holding a chain. And it does need a couple of satellite dishes just to receive the controller signal. So it's definitely not top of the line, but it is quite a cool mini. The base for this one is somewhere in the Scrapyard. So yeah, look at that giant hand. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be punched by that. Yeah, just so you guys have an idea of scale, this is Alessa next to it. So yeah, it's quite big. It's not quite, I think it's basically the same size, a comparable size to Ed 209 from RoboCop, right?
Yeah. It's less bulky, but yeah.
Yeah, it's so big that I almost can't get it all on camera here. And I love all the detail that there's actually quite a bit of detail that goes on to like the soldering here, where the armor of the robot probably cracked. There's a lot of beating and like corrosion damage to the metal itself. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely not a. It hasn't come from this is not factory settings, right?
Not mint condition.
Not mint condition.
Well. Building upon what you just said about battle damage and rust, etc., it's going to be a very interesting one to paint. I think that the community is going to deliver some interesting paint jobs on that one.
Yeah, because depending on how you paint it, you can make it look a little bit more prim and proper, a little bit more well put together, or you can make it look like paint each limb a different color and make sure everyone knows it's parts from different robots.
I think that's the way I would approach it. I think.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of that Megazord look, right?
That's true. Yeah.
A leg and an arm of each color. Okay, let's move on to our next couple of characters, and. The next couple of characters are actually, and I hope they're actually kind of a duo, kind of a set. Originally, we were just going to do one of them, and we knew we wanted to do a Cyberdecker, and we wanted to do a culture, or we wanted to represent a culture and a race, an ethnicity that we haven't really done too much with before. And what happened was we had two different concept arts that were both great. So we decided to do both of them. So first off, let's check out Amanpreet, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Amanpreet, or veteran Cyberdecker. The concept art is by Tariq Moutran, and you know this he has his visual was based on a Sikh man, from the Sikh culture from India, I believe. Yeah, I'm getting this right. Yeah, I'm like very, very conscious to get this correct. And yeah, we needed like the kind of old, experienced, grizzled Cyberdecker look, and I think Tariq really nailed it with the concept art, but the sculpt by Gustavo Gliss is on another level as well. So if you can check out the sculpts now, 3D sculpt. Yeah, he does have a kind of a look of a cyberpunk Santa as well.
Cyberpunk Indian Santa.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of love this one, to tell you the truth. And a Cyberdecker is you know the guy that you need in your cyberpunk group, in your shadow running group, or whatever your flavor of sci-fi you're playing. You need a hacker, right? You need the people to go into the matrix, to go into the network and jack in and take control of the network, take control of stuff, and steal information. And that's what we do with a character like this.
Yeah.
This is the guy that like he's been through a lot. He knows what he's doing, and if you got him on your team, your team is on safe hands.
And he's not like full support either, because he's packing, right?
Yeah, he's packing. Like, yeah, it's kind of a necessity on this world that we've made. You can't really be walking around without a way, without a means of defending yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially like the little equipment, the actual cyber deck that we made for these guys. It's kind of, it's not like, you know, a little thing. It has a full backpack on. You need a lot of energy to run these things, and it's kind of it does have like kind of this retro feel to it, as if it was, you know, 80s technology or future technology from an 80s movie.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so you know,
I kind of love that.
Yeah,
know, the futuristic,
the retro futuristic stuff. But specifically, like the 80s, 70s, and 80s idea of what the future would look like was at the same time kind of pessimistic, but because of, you know, Cold War and everything going on, but also very. Also, in some ways, very hopeful and very colorful because of the influences of the period. Yeah. I kind of love this one, and it makes a pair with our next one, because if we have a veteran Cyberdecker, we need an apprentice Cyberdecker, and canonically the next one is Akal, the apprentice Cyberdecker, is the nephew of Amanpreet. So that's where the connection comes in. He's a little bit younger, even though he's the nephew. He's not exactly a teenager. He's well into his like 30s probably. Yeah. Again, the concept art was done by Tariq Moutran, and it was an option. It was and I think our set is kind of falling apart here. No issue. And it was the other option, right? And both of them looked so good that we decided to do both of them. I think there were a couple of changes, like in the interface of the actual sculpt for this one. This sculpt was done by Sebastian Ramos. And I think basically the beard's a little bit fuller. He looks a little bit older, but I think it fits the character very well. He does have that. His equipment is not as tuned out as his uncle's, but he does have that 80s satellite phone on steroids thing going on for his cyberdeck.
He hasn't graduated into like a fully fledged Indian cyber Santa yet, but
yes.
He's well on his way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's check out all of the little details. And again, I love all of the little details that our artists are able to put into these minis. And just by making it a little bit dirtier, a little bit grimier, we get to add more textures. So there's stuff in this bundle that you wouldn't see in and a lot more frequently than in other bundles. Mm-hmm. Stuff like ripped pants with like frayed stuff, frayed edges on jackets, like the fishnet shirts and like hand warmers and gloves and stuff like that, mm-hmm. which is really great. A lot of leather, but also a lot of metal and plastics and rubber into technology side of stuff. So we
have a couple of comments here. Dan, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Dan Gedbois is saying that he could be controlling the bot, which seems pretty reasonable. Yeah.
Actually, both of them, like canonically, the Buster was the one that built the bot, but both of them, both the Cyberdeckers, have an ability to take control over constructs.
That's great.
So that's actually what they do.
Yeah,
it's one of the things they can do.
Yeah,
actually. So if your adversaries have like defensive turrets, it's something that you can take over. It's always nice to have an internet wizard on your side.
Yeah.
Right.
And Fabio Fernandes said that that Akal looks a little bit more militarized, which I guess I see where he's coming from. He looks more like a guerrilla fighter, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, next up we have Hub, the survivalist hipster. And this is a funny one. Like the whole concept for this character, we sat down to define, okay, what we're gonna actually have in this bundle. And someone came up with the idea of, have you ever seen that meme? Is this a hobo or is this a hipster? And we were like, oh yeah, that works. That works for this bundle. So it's one of those situations where, this guy is definitely more on the hobo side. He's not dressed like this. It's not necessarily a choice. He is with the rest of the exiles in the Undercity. Maybe he busked on a street that he shouldn't have, or something like that. The concept art for this one is by Beth Menezes, and the sculpt, which you guys are gonna see now, was done by Sebastian Ramos. And again, this one is a little bit more it's one of those situations where his clothes could be very nice or could have been very nice
at some point.
Yeah. But you see that situation where he's layering his clothes way too much. He's probably very cold or something. Is the feed okay? I see. There we go. I think everything went black for you guys in a while. Sorry about that. I think the video stopped going. Oh, there we go. Yes, we are aware we have fixed the issue. So yeah, the he's got a again, a lot of textures, a little like instrument case here. It's probably like it would have to be. I'm not sure if it's a acoustic guitar. It's probably like an electric guitar or something. It's a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
He's got his backpack going, his machete here.
It's a kukri.
It's from India as well. It's from the South Pacific, right?
I'm not sure.
This weapon.
I'm not gonna try to guess because I'm probably gonna guess wrong.
Yeah, but I think.
But I recognize the shape.
No, but you are right. It's a kukri. And it's from somewhere in the South Pacific. I'm not sure from where. But yeah, a big gun and a big, he's not he doesn't have a lot of money to throw around, so it's an older gun that's been fixed with duct tape and stuff like that. The classic beanie, this is definitely a homeless person you don't want to mess with. And even his status as a homeless person, technically the exiles from the Undercity, most of them are homeless.
Yeah,
most of them are wanderers.
Yeah. Well, Crazy Roundman has a comment that I not only agree, but I think that we should make it canon, which is it's a mandolin, definitely a mandolin.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is great as well. And yeah, once in a while we just a meme makes it into our bundle meetings, and we just think it's too perfect not to do a mini like that.
Yeah, he looks pretty great.
Okay, next up, let's show off Kathy, the Undercity biker. And Kathy, we like to do vehicles. We did a whole bundle around vehicles, and we wanted to do one in the Undercity as well. Kathy is our attempt to do that. She's got a really cool bike that we've been talking about doing this particular bike for a while now. It's kind of she's kind of straddling a jet engine, right? It's maybe it was taken down from a small aircraft or something like that, and it was definitely put together. Like this bike was put together from some military grade scrap. She is kind of our attempt as well to do more of a little bit more of a gunslinger character, a little bit more something a little bit more like the nomads from Cyberpunk, stuff like the Avocados. I think her pose is on the more active side of the spectrum of poses that we do because of how cool the bike positioning is. She's what's the expression in English for when you do something like this? It's like popping a wheelie.
Yeah, it's doing a wheelie.
Yeah. So yeah, the concept art for this one was done by Brandon Pais, and the sculpt, which you guys are gonna see now, was done by Caio Bellucci. Another great model, and it's sometimes it's a little bit hard to do to give the idea of movement in a mini, but Brandon and Caio did like their absolute best to use everything they had available to them, every single to give that illusion of movement and make the model look very, very active, right? So the way the hair is moving, the way her jacket is moving, even the little effects on the back wheel there, everything contributes a little bit.
Yeah, and she looks like she's going really fast, and the jet is not even on yet, right? Because
yeah,
she's using the regular motor. She hasn't turned on the turbo yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just check out a couple of the details here, and I believe the wheels here do have an inscription. Uh, who let me remember here is Retro Racer and Loot here. So we've been slowly introducing Loot as a mega corporation in our cyberpunk universe, and yeah, I hope we get there someday. I definitely want to be the one of the big bosses in a mega corporation, man. It's better than to be one of the underlings.
Well, if it's a mega corporation in the cyberpunk world, it's surely an evil mega corporation, right?
Yeah, there is no such thing as there's mega corporations. They are all inherently evil.
Well, you're not gonna get any disagreement from me in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we are not making a political comment about any corporations in the real world today.
Or otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, anyways, yeah, this is a great model. This is again a lot of different textures, a lot of different really cool stuff. You guys may actually have some I don't know how much the painters are gonna like this, but every single jacket that we have here does have some detailing and some decals on it. This one has some kind of a winged skull. There's this big X here on the back of Alessa. Everything has a little bit of something on it.
Buster also has cool detailing on the back part.
Yeah, it's just a lot of really, really cool, intricate details. Okay, let's move on to our next character. And now we're gonna get kind of into the villains of this bundle. There is an organ theft team to this bundle. The Undercity Exiles are basically, for some people, for some very unscrupulous people, they are basically cattle. They are to be harvested, and both their organs and any expensive cyberware that they have is going to be sold to the highest bidder on maybe in the Undercity itself or to some people outside of it.
Crazy Roundman has a comment that I just have to read.
Yeah.
An evil digital sculpting corporation is where all the STL comes unsupported and with clipping errors, right? That's exactly right.
I think the idea with Loot's monopoly would be the idea with Loot's eventually we buy out everyone else, we become a monopoly, and we do whatever the hell we like. But at least everything is still going to come pre-supported in 32 and 75 millimeters, and a couple of busts and objects and props, and
we're gonna be pretty cool even if we become a major monopoly.
Yeah, I guess it's just that we're still gonna be the best option.
We're gonna be the best option by becoming the only one, right?
Yes. And let's check out Doc Salmon's graph. So Doc is kind of the evil leader, the evil scientist leader of the organ theft that's going around in the Undercity. He's the one that either actually performs the surgery or takes the cyberware and the organs and does the implants. He's a pretty evil guy. He's very, very, very far gone. The concept art that you guys see there was done by Douglas Lobo, and the sculpt, which you guys are gonna see now, was done by Daniel Sanchez. And there is something in the concept art that I should address, his kind of quote unquote tank backpack where he's holding all the organs. We made it so it's a separate piece, so you can actually print it in translucent resin, and we actually have the little organs that go inside, at least a couple of them. So yeah, you can get pretty gross with this guy if you want to. We also have a couple of references to a couple of our Brazilian fans will recognize a couple of these references. We're not gonna go too much into detail on them. So if you know, you know, and if you don't, you know, there's some Brazilian made content out there that you can should definitely check out. So
this one is another one that also gave me some League of Legends vibes because of Singed, right? Remind me a little bit of Singed.
I don't play League of Legends, so
Me
like,
neither,
I have no idea.
But I watched Arcane, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the character you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, let's. He does have like extra arms that are coming out of his kind of backpack here. So he does give. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. So he does give like, you know, kind of that Doc Ock vibe going. Doc Ock vibe going on. He does have the arms are probably, you know, exchangeable here, so he can get whatever tool he needs. And he does have the tank here on his back, which, you know, does have a little cap here that we haven't glued on, so we can show you guys. And I think it's yeah, it's this way. I think, yeah, I'm not gonna be able
Let me help you.
to properly put it on.
The middle part goes behind here, so it's like this.
Yeah, the reason we haven't glued it is because we wanted to show to you guys all of the little organs.
And
So we
body
have like
parts,
a
yeah.
foot, just a random foot. We have a heart and a brain and like a piece of an arm, I think. So yeah, it's just a lot of cool stuff. And the idea here is that you can print this tank in translucent resin, and then you can fill it with, you know, you can fill it with translucent resin and just drop the painted organs in like one by one and adjust where you want them to be, and it should look like very, very cool.
And maybe like if a more adventurous printer wants like to rig some LEDs in the inside, it would look pretty awesome, like lit up from the inside.
Yeah. This guy's like hella creepy as well. Like his cybernetic eyes are making him look like very, very mad scientist and squinty. Like his hair is like some really out there stuff. It's almost alien looking. It actually reminds me of a little bit of that alien guy from Ancient Aliens, you know, with the crazy hair.
I'm not familiar, man.
Oh, it was a meme like years ago.
Okay.
Anyways, he is holding a head that some of you may recognize, but yeah, it's a really great model.
Let me see the head.
You don't know what the reference is? Ooh,
Not really, no.
No. Let's see if this thing
Oh,
gives you a
okay,
hint.
okay,
Oh,
okay.
you got it now, right?
I got it now, yeah. Very nice.
So yeah, this is Doc Graph, the leader of the organ stealing gang. So yeah, definitely don't trust anyone. Like the Undercity is definitely one of those places where if you don't pay attention to your drink, you're gonna wake up missing a couple of kidneys, right?
That's true.
Okay, the doc was sculpted by Daniel Sanchez. I'm not sure I said that, but it is an awesome sculpt. But on doc, do we have comments?
Yes, we have a comment by Dark Autumn Scribe. This guy's so cool. Okay, you guys have to do a Frankenstein type set now for the fantasy bubble. Well,
Ooh.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think it's Frankenstein type stuff. I think we would do it in a maybe in a not a cyberpunk, a steampunk bundle. And we have talked about this before. It's a little bit tricky to do steampunk in the fantasy subscription. A lot of people are not going to don't go for it once we do something, but we do have plans on how we are going to eventually do steampunk. So yeah, So
I think
there are plans into the works.
An alchemist, like a vivisectionist alchemist or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, would be fitting, I guess. Yeah.
I remember a quote what's the quote? What's the Frankenstein quote? I think it's like childhood is when you think Frankenstein is the monster. Then you become a teenager and you realize Frankenstein is the doctor, and then you become an adult and you realize Frankenstein is the monster.
Is the monster? Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a team I would love to do. But since we're talking about mad scientists, let's talk about the result of their experiments. This concept, again done by Jonathan Anjos, is of Ikfar, the cyber mandrill, and we needed a kind of an assistant for the doctor or a pet for him. And yeah, that's how we came up with Ikfar.
Every Frankenstein needs its Igor, right?
Yeah, and I think this is like a very, very. This is what happens when you need a guard dog as well, but you're way too eccentric to just get a dog. So let's check out the sculpt by Victor Prado. And this one's great. This one's like it's basically an animal. It's a mandrill, but with a lot of cybernetic augmentations. Like mandrills are already assholes in the best of days. You do not want to be caught like alone near a mandrill. They will probably not like having you around. They will not appreciate you at all. And they can basically F you up.
Yeah.
A cyber mandrill is like, yeah, even if you have some cybernetic augmentations, it's not going to be a happy day.
No, it's not. Yeah.
So yeah, let's check out the actual sculpt here. Yeah, it's almost has an almost like vampiric thing going on, or a werewolf thing with like the gigantic fangs.
Yeah.
The like crushing jaw that's probably been enhanced to deal like a devastating blow. And I love this base. I love like it's basically monkey in the jungle, but monkey in the concrete jungle.
Are mandrills even carnivore? I'm not.
They're not. They're not.
Right?
I don't think so. But they are.
Maybe they're omnivores, and maybe they'll eventually. I don't know.
I don't think they are. I think they are just. It's one of those things. Like a lot of animals develop like fangs and horns and stuff like that.
For other reasons, right?
It's not even to hunt. It's just like to fight other males of the species.
Like hippos, for example, right?
Yeah, it's like, and like basically everything that has almost everything that has a horn and a thick skull is because they like to bang skulls with each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, this I think this is a great combination. They do have a couple of synergies in their stat blocks for Doc Graph and Ikfar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Crazy Round Ben broke our code, man. He
it's not a very difficult code to break.
It's not a very I know.
Yeah, it's not a very difficult one.
Hafiki backwards, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of our models we come up with like some people like sometimes we are really stuck on a name. Okay, what do we name this thing? And then we just take a word and put it backwards. And sometimes it's a word in Portuguese, and that makes it harder for you guys to figure it out. But sometimes it's something that basically everyone knows and loves. So it's much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our next character. And again, not a nice one. It's going to be the organ harvester. And this is kind of this I would think is like the polar opposite of a paramedic, of a first responder, right? It's like
if
he doesn't get a call when people get sick. He gets a call when there's hey, there's some really healthy people around here. You
About
should
to
come
die.
around. Yeah.
He actually, well, if you want to harvest organs, you kind of have to be a first responder as well, but you're not responding to the hurt people, right? You're responding to some other to some other calling.
Yeah, he's kind of an assassin, and again, that's why this whole bundle, especially the organ stealers, they have a very a little battle angel vibe, right? Like those cycles that were killing people. Anyways, the concept art for this one was done by Francisco Yamio, and the sculpt, which you guys are gonna see now, was done by Sebastian Ramos. And yeah, he this gang is not just stealing like regular organs; they are stealing cybernetic organs as well. And I think it's a tricked out cyber heart that this guy has on right now. And he does have like this big arm gun thing that you definitely do not want to get hit by it. You definitely do not want to be on the wrong end of it.
Yeah, and he has like this cooler, probably a cooler behind him that he
Yeah, it's where his sources the let's say perishables.
Yes, exactly.
Like the organic stuff that is gonna need a. And yeah, the base is also great. Like he's stepping on like some sort of cyborg that he has just killed. And he's taking the parts to Doc Graph and selling them. Like this is a skulking kind of character. This is an assassin. This is a cyberpunk assassin, and his payday comes in the form of really expensive cyberware. Okay, let's move on to our next character, and this one is a fun one. It's Adele, the femme fatale. And you wouldn't think she's actually part of this gang until you see like the scorpion stinger cyberware.
Yeah.
This concept art again is by Francisco Yamio. And the story with this one is, first we needed we didn't want to do like another bundle of like a lot of clean cyberpunk stuff, but we wanted to do something for painters, and we wanted to do a character that is more clean and that could fit into a more clean environment.
Mm-hmm.
So we did Adele, and basically what she does is she's a little bit of a Black Widow or a Mantis, right? She seduces people and then makes sure they are quite dead and are able to be harvested by the other members of the gang.
Is she the leader of the gang?
I don't think so. I think it could work like that. I think should be a very fine option for a leader.
She looks very girl bossy, like
Yeah,
to my eyes. Yeah.
she could definitely definitely has the connections necessary.
Okay.
I
I believe that by looking at her.
Yeah, the sculpt here was done by Sebastian Ramos. So let's check out the sculpt. Yeah, there we go. And again, she's a very beautiful sculpt, but but she's hiding a secret, and you definitely do not want to be on the receiving end of that hug, let's say.
I can almost imagine like the scene of she meeting a person meeting her like for the first time, and she's like a normal person, but then this claw like creeps out from behind her, and the guy goes like, "What?"
It's kind of yeah. It's a bear hug, right? Soft on the front, sharp on the back.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, let's check her out here on the. And I love all of the detail on her dress here, the there's definitely a theme going on. Like her boots definitely have some have a theme, a little bit of texture that goes up and that kind of connects to the dress here. So it's a very, very cool, very, very, very beautiful mini. And every bundle we try to do one mini that could be described as, classically beautiful, because we know a lot of people are into that and are gonna want to paint that.
Yeah.
So it's cool and all to do a bundle full of dirt and grime and stuff like that, but yeah, you need some beauty in your life, and
Yeah.
Adele fits that bill perfectly.
Crazy Roundman has a great comment, another great comment, right? Her greatest nemesis, high-backed chairs.
Yeah, I think the idea here is that we don't quite represent this on the model, but I think that the idea is that all of the cyberware gets to be hidden somewhere inside of her body.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that was the overall idea
Where do
designed
those
her.
go, though?
Oh man, it's high tech stuff. We don't need to really think about
A
it.
Pokeball, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I think maybe her full torso is not. It's like it's cyberware.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to our next character, which is a little kid. And actually, let us know. We don't. It's very, very rare for us to do kind of a child as a character. We do them once in a while as NPCs. But this guy is definitely an active member of the gang. He's a spotter. He's Lil Dice, the spotter. The concept art is by Francisco Yamio, and the sculpt was done by Matheus Baboni. And we really want you guys' opinion on this. I was talking to Alvaro earlier today about this. Don't worry, you guys. It's just don't worry about the noise. Nothing got broken, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, nothing got
safe.
broken,
We're safe.
and it was definitely not my fault. This time, anyways. So yeah, let us know what you guys think about us introducing a couple of like children characters. We know they're not very playable, or at least not always playable, but they are very interesting pieces for dioramas and for painters. So let us know what you guys think of them, if you like them, if you don't, and let's check out the sculpt by Matheus Baboni.
You mentioned that he's a spotter, right? So
Yeah, a spotter. For those who don't know, a spotter is a member of a gang that is basically responsible for letting the other members know if the cops, or in the Undercity probably a rival gang, is about to show up.
So,
In
his hand, it's like a flare gun, probably.
Yeah, like in his right hand is more of a flare gun. It's not like an actual pistol. But yeah, the big gun that he's carrying, he's too small to use, and we actually put that into stat block. He actually has disadvantage with the big gun because it's just too big for him. Like this character is very, very kind of tragic. He is kind of a little boy trying to posture as something he's not, or at least he's not yet. And we do make a little bit of a commentary. He is one of the people. He wasn't sent to the Undercity. He was born there. And if you're gonna do a prison city, this is something that you need to be aware of. The corporations in our world are definitely aware of this. They just don't care. But yeah, this is one of those characters that just kind of fell by the wayside of society, and is actually kind of very tragic and very sad. But the sculpt of the model is very, very cool.
Yeah.
And it does have like a little. What is this? Is this like a Happy Meal on top of the trash can here? A trash can, a couple of couple of trash bags, a box, and you know.
We do not condone nor recommend eating on top of trash cans, you guys. Okay?
Yeah, nor do we condone or recommend, you know, children with guns.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying, but you know, it's better that we say it. Just you know.
I was gonna say that we totally condone that, but I'm kidding. Come on.
Into today's day and age, yeah. Sometimes you gotta state the obvious.
Yeah.
Just to be safe, just to be on the safe side.
The fingers onto the trigger.
Let's see if the finger's off the trigger. No, I think this one, the finger is on the trigger.
But it's a flare
gun, and he's pointing up. Like he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
He's about to shoot you guys. He's about to not you guys, but he's about to shoot.
Yeah,
Comma,
a flare gun.
You guys.
Yeah. Okay, so let's check out the next character, which is the penultimate character. Actually, we're almost done. The next character is Fat Rat Johnny. And you know, he's another kind of punk, kind of thuggish gang member. He could definitely work as some sort of mercenary. I think this is one of the ones that doesn't necessarily need to be a quote unquote evil character, but even if he's not evil, he's definitely not nice.
Yeah.
And I think that's the idea with this concept art by Beto Menezes. This character is also a reference to a what would you call the style of that band? But it is a reference to a Brazilian
it's a punk band, yeah.
It's a
punk rock band.
It's a punk rock band from Brazil. It's a very, very slight reference. It's basically the rats and the name of this character. And I think I would like to think he would appreciate the reference. This is a very, very badass character. The sculpt that you guys are seeing right now was done by Kai Bellucci.
I especially like his jacket, like the back part of his jacket.
Yeah, the backpack
it really reminds me of the Biker Mice from Mars logo. You remember that one?
Yeah, I definitely I vaguely remember that one. I remember it as if it were like a fever dream or something.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I also like he has a holster for a little side pocket here for his like
whiskey bottle. Yeah. It's a specific whiskey bottle too.
Yeah, he does have a couple of rats that he's probably controlling like cybernetically. They're just hanging onto him.
I like to think he controls them via whistling, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he has a really, really cool gun as well, and it's basically like a cool cyberpunk gun, cool futuristic looking gun. But then you put a drum barrel on it, and it takes it to the next level.
And it takes it to way back when as well, right? It's
like
a great mix of an old style gun in a this
and I think
futuristic.
And I think this is another one of those characters that we like to experiment with like different body types, and not just do the washboard abs like kind of hero looking dude.
Yeah.
And I think we are better off for experimenting with those different body types.
I totally agree.
We actually come up with like some really, really interesting character. You can actually like Caio actually sculpted here on the back. You can actually see like the butt crack, which is just an absolutely great detail. I absolutely love.
It's not every day that you do this to a butt crack.
Yeah, it's like I love seeing the butt cracks on the characters. Like nobody's perfect. Sometimes you accidentally show some butt crack. It happens.
It happens.
Okay, and let's check out the next character, which is also the last character, but is actually gonna take us into our first scenery object for this bundle, and it is the Scraps Cook. And the Scraps Cook here in an amazing concept art by Francisco Yamio. The Scraps Cook is the guy that he's probably, before coming to the Undercity, he probably led like a really violent life. But once he got here, he decided, yeah, maybe this is not for me. And he gets by cooking and he makes a living by feeding the other exiles of the Undercity. So yeah, it's a really cool concept, a really cool. He's the guy that takes like the stuff that is unedible, and he seasons it well enough and cooks it well enough that it's going to be, you know, at least passable as food. Like if you squint hard enough, it looks like food, and if you're like maybe don't have quite maybe if you lost your sense of taste to COVID, it can taste close enough to food, right?
Okay.
And I think that's the idea with this character, and it's a really it's both badass and fun looking character. So let's check out the sculpt by Daniel Sanchez. And you know, the sculpt, like the big cleaver, the gun in the kind of the holster in the back there, the like the, and I think what are those things? I think they're like spices hanging from his shoulders there. They look like grenade for a little bit, but I don't think they were that. And this guy definitely has a machete or a sword or something. It's like a cook's knife hanging from the.
It's a cleaver. Right? It's a meat.
It's a meat cleaver, but he also has another knife on his apron, on his chef's apron.
Mm-hmm.
Going
it's
through
one
there.
of those. It's like pizza blades or something like that. Looks like one.
I think it's a pizza.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like there's but he has a bunch of knives. I think
okay.
I think it's
You're
my
talking
point.
about the one.
Yeah, the one like right below that. Yeah,
Okay.
so let's check out his full arsenal. So he has the meat cleaver. He has the like not so obvious handgun behind him here. He has a couple of like cooking utensils, but like very dangerous looking cooking utensils, right?
Yeah.
Here, like a couple of knives that go in here. Like this dude is packing, and I love the detail here of the actual like of the actual plates. It's little rats, it's little mice that have been cooked to perfection.
I'm guessing Fat Rat doesn't like him very much.
Maybe, you know, but
He cooks his buddies.
you know, maybe, but like rats reproduce quite fast, you know. And you gotta if you got the craving for meat, you got the craving for meat. I remember like what's the name of that movie where Sylvester Stallone gets frozen and then he wakes up and
Okay.
who?
It's like a
it's
future
with
cop.
Wesley Snipes.
Like like he's a cop from the past. Right?
Yeah, it's with Wesley Snipes.
I thought yeah. The
Demolition Man.
the
Demolition
three
Man.
shells thing,
The three shells
right?
thing.
Yeah.
And there are some rat burgers in there. Like people stopped eating meat on the surface, and the only way you can eat meat is going to the sewers and eating like a rat burger. And according to Sylvester Stallone, that character tastes pretty good still.
Tastes pretty good. Okay.
It tastes like meat, right? And you know,
Yeah. Lean meat.
lean meat.
Yeah.
Okay. And this character actually makes a very good segue into our first object for this bundle, which is going to be the Scrap Bistro. Do we have any comments on this one specifically?
No, not yet. Well,
Okay.
no, actually, he looks like he cooks everybody's buddies.
Yeah.
true.
If we could check out the concept art first. So the concept art for the Scrap Bistro was done by Marcos Torri, and it was thought from the start as a, you know, it's kind of like a tuk-tuk truck, kind of a food truck that was designed for the Scraps Cook. Those were meant to go together. And I do have it here, both the 32 millimeter Scraps Cook and the truck. The truck was sculpted by Antonio Lombardi. Okay, so yeah, let's check it out. The it does come in several parts. I think it comes in 4 or 5 parts, but it's basically to facilitate the printing process and to facilitate the painting process. The front part comes like ready from the printer, including the rotating wheel. And you can actually see here, the back part comes separate as well to allow you guys to paint inside. So there's a couple of pieces to this back part, and it's a really nice little food truck. It has a little kitchen inside. It has the counter here with the drinks and the plates, and like just a lot of like cool little details on the inside.
It's a great painting exercise, right?
Yeah, and it's a great it's a very compact diorama, right?
It's true. Yeah, it is true.
Let me see here. Did I get this right? And yeah, and the scraps cook actually fits inside, and I'm actually not sure if it's gonna close with him in there, and it actually closes with him in there. That's nice. That's very good. So we left the signs here blank, so you can put like paint whatever sign you would like, and I think it's gonna be this one's gonna be very fun to work with and paint. And let me just show you guys a little bit more of the detail on this one. Yeah, it's a very fun model, and it's a food truck with a cook that you definitely don't want to mess with. You don't want to send anything back to the kitchen, because yeah, maybe you become the next Mew or something.
Yeah.
I think we have a couple.
I think that his figure is actually saying that to someone, like
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
right at
Are
that
you sure
moment.
you want to send us back? Yeah, this is a great model. I think this one, like this vehicle has just so much stuff in so like
a-
dense
yeah.
with content that I love it for what it is, you know. Okay, so let's check out some of the other content that we have, some of the other objects. Okay, so first off, and I think we're missing one of them, but can you show the concept art for our generators? This concept art was done by Leo Tomba, and this one was actually
I think that these are the only ones that printed.
Okay,
Yeah.
no matter. So the idea here is that we call them generators, but these are kind of just, you know, we designed them as very generic and versatile scatter terrain. So they can work as generators, as computers, as pumps,
Terminal, right?
as bombs, like terminals, whatever you want them to work as. It's really going to depend on how you decide to paint them and characterize them, right? So the sculpt for this one was done by Anderson Pioli. I have a couple of them here with me. I don't have the third one here, but you know, it's kind of a very simple and very versatile scatter terrain. The kind of stuff that you just print a bunch of because it's going to go in a lot of your dioramas. It's going to go in a lot of your models.
It's pretty versatile. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next up we have let's move on to the next one. And I actually have a couple of ones here. We have the Slum Shacks. And we have 3 of them. I'm gonna start with the small ones and move on to the bigger ones. The concept art for this one, again, by Leo Tomba. And again, the idea of this one is that you would be able to print a bunch of them and make them. You would be able to print a bunch of them and make a big diorama, or just use them as scattered terrain. it's one of the reasons they come in different sizes. There's like a small one, a medium one, and a kind of big one. We did do a little bit of a modification, but let's check out the sculpts here by Anderson Pioli. This small one is like, it's barely even a shack. It's probably like a one person, almost, you know, maybe one person lives here. It's just the right size for a porta potty, right? It's
Yeah.
like, it's yeah, but I think it's definitely in a situation where the exiles are in the Undercity. This could definitely be like someone's palace, right? It's like, you can live there. It's just, you can survive there at
It
least.
is personal space. There is a door.
It's definitely, it at least protects you from the acid rain.
Yeah.
So, you know, next.
Cyber outhouse.
Yeah.
It's a comment by Rexidus.
It's so, you know, and they were kind of designed so you can use them, like put a couple of minis on top of them. Next up we have the kind of the medium-sized shack here, which, you know, again, this one is probably it's basically a container, right? It has a couple of possible entries. I think the entry on top here is the safest one. But yeah, and again, this one was made so that you can put a bunch of characters on top of it, and they will look good on it.
It is a vantage point, right? For a sniper or like shooters in general.
Yeah. And finally, we have the big one. And even the big one, you know, is a shack. It's not a house, but it's quite big, and it's actually let me actually adjust things here so you guys can see it a little bit better. And it's actually like a fully playable space. This thing, technically, the concept art was a little bit bigger than this, but we reduced it. Sorry. We reduced it to make sure that it would be easier to print. And we also did several cuts, not because it needed to be cut necessarily, but to make the internal space playable. So you can actually move a couple of minis inside, you know, put them on the stairs here, and then you can take off the top part, and you have actually quite a nice little house. This is definitely for the Undercity. This is a palace.
Yeah.
Like, right, you gotta defend this shit with tooth, nail, and lead.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. It's definitely and I actually love this one. Of the terrain pieces that we did, this one is like, it's simple, it's to the point, it's playable, and it would look really good as a diorama as well.
Yeah. And you can, for example, if you want to build like a scenario with like more buildings, etc., maybe you can use like only the top floor as like a standalone building if you want,
Yeah.
right? And then you can have the whole thing in another section of your scenario. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this one is great. This one's I absolutely love it. So thank you so much for Leo and Anderson for making this one happen. Okay, and we are almost done, but we still have a couple of ruins. And again, this is the rain that was designed for dioramas and for the rain building in general. Again, with concept art by Leo Tomba, but this time with sculpt by Alex Marik. And don't we have a couple more pieces, maybe?
I think that's all we.
That's all we have here.
That was printed. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, it's just a couple of ruins, like pieces of buildings that used to be there, but are definitely not there anymore. And they make great battle terrain. They just they give you just enough elevation that and put a couple of characters far away from the reach of melee characters, and then you can have like a whole battle going on. You just print a bunch of these pieces, a couple of the shacks, and you build a little city. You build a little scenario, a little combat scenario.
Mm-hmm. Just so you guys understand, we don't have everything printed out here because we are prototyping the entire journey to Nidavellir. So our printers are running
so
24/7.
Yeah, we've missed a couple of pieces in here because of that. Yeah. But it's fine. Like definitely check out the. It's gonna be worth it when you guys see Journey to Nidavellir come out.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think this is it, except for this little guy that has been hanging out with us since the beginning of the live stream. It's the robot skull prop. And it's a real life-sized, not real, but life-sized robot skull. The concept art was done by Igor Gonçalves. And the sculpt was actually done by our 3D printing or Sci-Fi 3D artist lead, or Robson Barros, he is one of our best sculptors. So whenever he gets a chance to work on something like this, we always absolutely love. We rejoice because he's a very, very busy man. But whenever he can work on something, he really, really delivers. So let me just clear up the table here real quick. Mm-hmm. And you guys have already been seeing this guy here. We designed it so that it could, it's a life-sized humanoid skull. So it can be used as a headphone holder, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, let me lift it up here. It does have a handle on the backside. I definitely don't want to break this. And let me show it here first. And then we're going to go to the overhead camera. It does have a handle on the backside here.
I wouldn't trust it though.
Yeah, it is resin, right? It's not filament, so it's a little bit brittle. And look at it. Look at how big it is. Let's show it on the overhead camera. We're not even gonna be able to show like the whole thing.
Do we need to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's adjust the.
Adjust this.
Just zoom out.
Zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
Do I need to refocus? I think so.
It's good.
Okay. Looks good.
I think it's.
Just click on the button.
Okay.
Shooter button. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And I actually I loved how this one turned out. He looks both scary and terrifying and goofy. Depending on how you paint it, it could go either way.
Yeah.
The profile on this one is just absolutely great. And before you guys ask, this one in my hands right now, it weighs about 1 kilo and 400 grams, something like that. So it should spend about that much resin. It does come in like 5
over
parts.
that because of supports, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 or
Yes.
7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 parts actually. With supports is going to go up to like 2 kilos or 2 liters of resin basically. But it is a very, very cool prop. It's well worth the investment. It has it's such a cool thing. It's a conversation piece, right? It's something that for you to put it on your shelf or to put on your maybe on your coffee table as it's definitely a conversation starter.
My headphone's wireless, so if I were to print this, I would surely like add some like modification here to like recharge my phone, like
from inside
a USB
from inside the eye socket. Yeah.
It would look like gritty and fun. Yeah, I think that would do it.
Yeah, I am terrified of dropping this and breaking it because it was a lot of work for the people here to get it like finally printed. As we said, our printers are running like 24/7 with the prototypes for Johnny and Nidavellir. So yeah, but yeah, I guess it turned out great.
We have a question by Fiction Paintball. Is there going to be a filament version for this skull?
I'm actually not sure. We are kind of ramping up. Okay, so here's what I can say. We have plans of ramping up or the side of loot, like the preparations for filament printing. And that's just like overall across all of loot. One of the reasons we haven't been able to like start that yet is because we have a lot of stuff coming out at the end of this year. So we have a pretty big fantasy bundle coming out in December. We have Journey to Nidavellir, and we are working on a couple of other projects. So that's the reason we haven't been able to like, you know, really dedicate ourselves to filament yet.
But it's something that we have.
It is something that we have in our plans.
sights.
Yeah, it is in our sights. I'm not sure about this model though. I believe it, we are going to have.
Printing right now.
Okay, so we are printing right now. We are test printing right now this model, this skull in filament.
Oh yeah, good news.
Yeah, so
Let's have some modifications to print easier.
Yeah.
In the filament.
Okay.
Like the teeth and some.
okay, yeah, so it's not going to be the exact same. It's going to have like it's going to need to have
Slight modifications.
Yeah. for the filament to make it work there, because when you design something for resin, it's, you know, the printing process that you're designing for actually affects how the model is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because you have to change some stuff depending on the printing process. And I guess this is it. We have let's go back and do a couple of the announcements again.
Yeah.
And do a couple of the reveals before we go into the Q&A section. So first of all, let's just go over again a couple of things. Like if you've missed the announcements in the beginning, we have Journey to Nidavellir coming soon. We've talked about it a little bit during the live stream.
Yeah. Last live stream we were like being very mysterious about.
Yeah, we were giving little hints
about the project
right?
that we were working on, but now we can like openly talk about it. Yes, Journey to Nidavellir is just around the corner. The launch week will be like early December, second week of December. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the launch week so you can get our communications, get our emails, and be ready for when it drops. There's also right now we are producing the trailer for it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to see it because it's turning out awesome. Also, we are receiving entries for Loot's Golden Brush until the 29th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Loot's Golden Brush is open right now. The model for it is the free model that we have made available from Journey to Nidavellir.
Yeah.
It's you can check out the rules in our new website. All of the rules for contests are there, like how you're supposed to.
The link for this page is in the description, but you can also find it by navigating through the website. Support Journey to Valhalla. It's gonna be the first post. But of course, it's also easy to click on the link in the description.
Yeah, and just as a first prize, because we have prizes for we're going to have judges voting for first, second, and third prizes, third places, and first, second, and third places get prizes. But just for the first prize, for the first place, the prize is going to be an Anycubic Mono X2 plus 5 liters of resin plus the full Journey to Nidavellir set, plus 150 pounds from Element Games. let's see what else. We're also going to have a popular vote, and the winner of the popular vote gets to design with us the next community hero, and you get to even be the community hero if you want to.
They also get the Journey to Nidavellir set, doesn't they? Don't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
all of the winners get the Journey to Nidavellir set.
Perfect. Yeah.
Or at least I believe so. Now, besides that, if you are wondering about Loot's Black Friday sales, yes, we will have them. Pay attention to our definitely pay attention to our community posts and our social media. From Black Friday to Cyber Monday, we are going to have discounts for basically every old bundle. So if there's something that you've been waiting to get, wait just a little bit more so you can get it at a discount.
And I think that now we can, before we go to this little goodie, we can talk about the name for the next bundle.
Yes, definitely. So the name for the next bundle, and it's a pretty cool one. So the name for the December bundle is going to be Overclock Crisis. So yeah, Overclock Crisis.
Maybe you can try to guess some things out of that name. Let's see if you can.
Yeah, I think
right.
this one's actually gonna be kind of a little bit hard to get right. Sometimes we make it way too easy with the names of the bundles. So Overclock Crisis. It's going to be a fun one. I can tell you that much. And yeah, that's the name of our next sci-fi bundle, Overclock Crisis. And finally, we do have a new loyalty reward coming out for Sci-Fi, and it's going to be the second 3-month loyalty reward. It's going to be joining Grigory and his Avalanche Walker. So anyone who has the bundles, I believe from October, I think it's from September onwards. September, October, and November will be eligible to get this next loyalty reward, which is called Trevor Takamori, Razor Wings. And here's the concept art for him. And this one is going to be, you guys are going to get the full treatment, the 32, 75 millimeters, and statue scale. We also have two different heads for him. We have a head with the helmet and a head without the helmet. And the idea with this one is that this guy is kind of a vigilante. It's like the kind of a reverse vulture, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a very, very cool.
He looks awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of details. I believe the base you guys are seeing right now is going to be the I'm not sure if that's going to be the base for the statue version, but I believe so. It's quite big. It's going to be quite an imposing piece, let's say. And this concept art, this awesome concept art, was done by Gabriel Scavariello. And he's actually being sculpted. I believe, is it Hobson that is sculpting him? I'm actually not sure who the sculptor is. But, I have actually seen because we are actually very close to, we have caught up with our loyalty rewards schedule. So we are way ahead of schedule with the loyalty rewards. And I believe this sculpt is actually almost done already.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, we should be test printing it soon, and when it should come out on December 15th, it will come out. So yeah, it's a great model, and thank you so much for Gabriel for this. I think we can. So anyway, you can leave a version of that concept up so people can see it. Just have it on the concept art page, something like that, so people can see us and the concept. So while our little helpers here figure it out, let's go into the Q&A section. We have some time. We
Yeah,
have a little bit of time.
We have a couple of minutes. If you guys have any questions, we're gonna be happy to answer them.
Yeah. Any questions, comments, suggestions? We are here for the next couple of minutes for it. So yeah, let us know.
Modern Icarus flying too close to the vigilant satellites. Right, Fabio? Yeah, you're right. Rexidus has a question.
Yeah.
Are we going to get more space sets like Star Wars or Firefly inspired?
I think that's something we are talking about right now. We are planning to.
When was the last one? Like it had like with spaceships and stuff.
It has been a while. I think the last one was in June or July, something like that. Actually, it was a little bit after that. Actually, it was August, I think. And the idea was that we are basically designing our sets around the feedback that we've been getting. So once we started the Sci-Fi releases, like way back in September of last year, the 3 first bundles were basically already done once we started releasing them. So it took us a while to take the feedback and change some stuff around. And then we did that, and like the community liked the change in direction, but we have gotten some more feedback since then, and we kind of pivoted the content to some stuff that is more, a little bit more grounded, a little bit more cyberpunk focused. But we are planning the next sci-fi bundles right now. We are in the middle of the process of planning the next 6 months of sci-fi bundles. And yeah, I'm not sure when we're going to do another space set, but we're probably going to do one fairly soon.
We have another question by Simon Chouinard. Do you have a section on your website with all the concept art? I don't think we do.
On the new website, I think that's something that we were actually missing. We actually have to go back and get because we changed the website. We have to go back and recreate a bunch of pages that were in the old one. I believe we have started doing the concept art for the new sets in the new website. So we have started doing that, but we need to go back and get like the high quality images from the older concepts
So
to.
it's in the backlog.
It's in the backlog for now.
Yeah. Okay. There is another question by Fabio Fernandes. Do we have like news from the Loot Studios board game?
Oh yes, the Loot Studios board game is in I believe it's in closed beta right now. We will be sending out invitations for we started developing the game. We tested it internally. We invited a couple of members of the community to play test it with us, and we got some feedback. And then we went into a process of like reiterating the game and changing a lot of things that people were not quite satisfied with, and that we thought we could do better. We have done that. We have a much better prototype now, and we will be sending a message into the community sometime this week. Maybe, I'm not sure actually of when, but we will be inviting you guys to play test the game, and it's quite fun to play. I have played it quite a bit.
I'm yet to be defeated, but I only played one match.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's just pay attention to the community news, to the community posts. We are going to have some news on the board game fairly soon.
Rexidus has another interesting question. Are you guys going to make modular building pieces, aka parts to build your own buildings?
That is something that I have been pushing for. It is actually part of the, because here's the thing, to make building parts in resin is actually like quite expensive, and it's not as effective as doing them in filament. And because of that, we were planning on making this what you're talking about, making the modular building pieces already focused on filament. So we because we haven't kicked off the filament project stuff yet, we have pushed that forward a little bit. But yeah, it's in the plans. We just don't know how exactly to do it yet. It's, filament is generally better for if you want to do repeat the same piece a bunch of time and want to make everything fit. The filament's gonna be better. Like there's less warping. It's cheaper and much faster to do stuff in bulk. So yeah,
it's a more adequate tool.
Yes.
For it. Yeah.
Yes. So it's going to be part of that, and it should take a little bit until we are done with the end of year projects here at Loot.
Great. There's actually a pretty interesting question here from Thomas Theobald. How about a weapons package so we can mod the models to create our own characters out of the pieces in your bundles?
I think that's an interesting idea. We have discussed something similar before. And the idea is that we would actually create not just weapons, but a bunch of different pieces that would allow you guys to basically kit bash our models and change them a little bit. It is a little bit complicated. We would have to a couple of the models would have to be adapted, and actually, like a lot of the models, a lot of the characters would have to be adapted to even accept the kit bashed pieces, kit bashed weapons. But it is something that we have talked about. But I don't think it's something that is in the near future, just because we are working on a lot of different stuff right now. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, I think that's it for today, guys. If you have any other questions, definitely drop them in our Facebook group or in our Discord server. We're gonna try to do our best to answer them. Drop them in the comments once the live stream comes out as a video, and we'll try to answer it as well. But for today, this is it. It's been a blast presenting Undercity Exiles, and I hope you join us next time for the next live stream. So
I'm pretty sure by then Luca will be back. But it's been a pleasure to share the table.
Oh,
with you,
I think it did just fine, and I think you will always be welcome back.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to go on vacation sometime. So see you guys around. It's been a blast. Till next time.
Bye bye.